Hello aspirants, welcome to Pragyān with the IAS. In this video we'll be covering about the Karnataka Economic Survey 2024 and 25. This will be very helpful for your upcoming KS mains. Those candidates who are preparing for KS mains, which is scheduled on 28th of this month, which is March 28th onwards. So we will comprehensively cover this economic survey of Karnataka on a very high level. This is the one place to go to write most of the answers in your GS 1, 2, 3 and even 4 also, right? So in GS 1 part we have social sector initiatives, we have GS 2 governance based part, we have GS 3 economy, and in even GS 4 various good governance initiatives and case studies. Most of the answers can be picked up directly from the Economic Survey of Karnataka in line with the Economic Survey of India. Previously I have already covered the Economic Survey of India and Budget of India both. There we talked that economic survey is survey of the previous financial year, which is 24 and 25, and budget is of the forecast of the upcoming year 2025 and 26. In line with the central Indian Union budget, similarly every state prepares its own economic survey and budget. Herein we are going to discuss about the economic survey of Karnataka 24 and 25. This document and many of the bureaucratic phrasing of articulation can be directly picked from economic survey of Karnataka and can be directly utilized in the upcoming mains answers. So quickly we will delve. Before that, just like the Economic Survey of India is prepared by the Department of Economic Affairs, right, the Economic Survey of India under the Ministry of Finance. Similarly, like in this case, the Department of Planning and Programming and Monitoring is under the aegis of Government of Karnataka, is accountable to produce economic survey in line with the Union Economic Survey, right? And there is a simple preface and there are 13 chapters, and this year's economic survey also covers around 13 chapters. Here these 13 chapters are pertinent to Karnataka's economic performance in the financial year 24 and 25. There is a quick preface, and there it is noted that the Karnataka tops in the overall devolution index. This is with respect to devolution to Panchayati Raj institutions and urban local bodies. Yeah, so India has been a top performer and which is well noted, which is even higher than best performing states in India like Kerala and Tamil Nadu, right, which have grabbed the second and the third position respectively, right? So which is a very commendable achievement that the Karnataka has achieved this year in the devolution index. This you can directly quote in all the answers that questions coming on urban local bodies, rural development and others. You can literally start with quoting this recent update. Yeah, also pioneering state, Karnataka has taken a front face in adapting electrical vehicles, yeah, in the name of Karnataka mobility policy. See, these various policy frameworks you need to quote in your answers to stand out among other candidates. And the state also hosted recently the global investors meet called Invest Karnataka. So this is all okay, directly some things you can pick up. So I'll be picking up good statistics from this document on a high level and some very good mains answer writing lines directly picked from the economic survey. You can directly quote as stated in the recent economic survey 2025 and 26 of Karnataka. It was like that, you can quote, right? It will be very effective in answer writing. Now these are the 13 chapters. Like chapter 1 talks about income, price, inflation. The second chapter talks about the fiscal development, consolidation, fiscal prudence that the Karnataka government is undertaking in keeping the state's economy on track in line with India's vision of economy and sustainable growth. Then investments and exports. India and Karnataka as a state, how is its contribution in the exports uh, of Indian market? Yeah, going globally. Then rural development and urban development. These two are very critical things as we talk about any state's development, rural and urban. Agriculture is again a crucial limb, and how food is being managed, providing the basic necessities to the citizens like roti, kapda and makan, we say na, food, clothing, shelter. And natural resource management and environment, how the industry is performing in terms of economic activity and thus adding value to growth story, the gross domestic product, GDP. Yeah, and in terms of state we call as GSDP, gross state domestic product. Yes. Also, what are the efforts by the government and the present dispensation for skill, entrepreneurship, employment and labor welfare? As you know, Karnataka has IT, BT and ST, information technology, biotechnology and science and technology ministry, which is like a front runner and a role model for many of the states in India. So there are efforts done in this direction to further the technological advancement and knowledge economy based on technology. Yeah. Economic infrastructure, what are government's plan and performance in spending in capital investment, which is infrastructure development for right investments to come into India. Then human development, how is the Karnataka faring well with other states in terms of catering to human resources, especially the working age population, youth. Yeah. And skilling and making valuable human resource to add value to the economic atmosphere within Karnataka. Then good governance practices that Karnataka has implemented, which are good case studies to be emulated by other states as well. And sustainable development goals, we have 17 sustainable development goals, and how is Karnataka progressing in that parameters, which is even ushered by the Niti Aayog also from the center. Niti Aayog SDG index exists, right? So thus such things one has to look into. Yeah, those things. So quickly getting into the first before the first chapter, we have the executive summary. This gives a very high level understanding of this document. I will go little deeply into this chapter per se, and other chapters we will go a little faster, but this one chapter gives a very high level understanding, and many of the points are very pertinent that can be utilized directly to the answer writing. Yeah. So like Karnataka is in the forefront of India's development. This is how one can start answering many of the questions in especially GS3 and GS2. Yeah, even GS1, many of the topic. So driving economic growth. So Karnataka's position as a front runner cannot be denied. So keep that in India's development and growth story. Driving economic growth through progressive policies. Post the LPG reforms, Karnataka has been the first states to implement and opening up the market for the foreign companies to come in the name of global technological centers, and usher very high level of churning in terms of skill creation, job creation, adding economic activities, service provision, yes, and all that, and establishing technical institutions. Thus, as a premier investment destination in India, state has nurtured a business-friendly ecosystem, particularly in biotechnology, in the IT and high-tech industries. So one notable point is that 40% of its GSDP, the gross state domestic product, right, is all coming directly from the IT, BT and ST industry, which is very much noted, right? and the exports, as it is stated here, are directly coming from 40% from the ecosystem that is being created across ITBT ST. This you can quickly quote. Then we can get in that how Karnataka's rich biodiversity, around 25% of the land is dedicated for or is consumed by the forestry or the Western Ghats, and Karnataka houses 5 national parks and 36 wildlife sanctuaries. You can quote this. Keep quoting this whenever topics on natural vegetation, conservation, climate change, environment related questions arise with respect to Karnataka's efforts. Yeah, and infrastructure development with respect to rails, metro, right, and then highways, sub-highways, flyovers, all those, right. And also Karnataka leads the human development, surpassing national health and education benchmarks, especially in health and education. Karnataka is one of the top performers. Thus, it's always good to quote Karnataka's positioning, especially with respect to digital governance initiative triggered by the IT infrastructure that exists in Karnataka, and various e-governance initiatives that are being undertaken to provide smoother public delivery services, right, that thus reinforcing transparency and efficiency. That Karnataka is a role model to be followed for all other states. You can quote like that. And thus there are many other points like this. You can directly take sentences like this and directly quote in your even conclusive answers, right, what way forward, all that. Like, by empowering rural and urban communities, fostering skill development and championing sustainability, Karnataka stands as a model of economic resilience and inclusive progress in India's growth story. So this is actually a typical model way forward answer or a conclusion answer, like that. How about the state income and prices? So GDP currently in the last year grew by 7.4% compared to India's GDP growth, which is 6.4%. So very important stat, remember this, and wherever possible quote. During 24 and 25, the share of GSDP was 8.9%, very important stat, compared to 8.6%. So there has been 8.9% is the GDP contribution of Karnataka alone to the Indian GDP. So can you imagine, around 9%. It is as good as like 10% of the India's GDP growth, which is commendable. Also, Karnataka's per capita income is around 3,80,000, right? So that you can remember. And also agriculture sector at constant price is expected to grow by this. So there are some sector wise like growth, like agriculture sector is growing by 4%. Like last year it grew by 4%. Industry sector, the manufacturing sector, grew by 5.8%. Service sector grew by 8.9%. Yeah, one very important statistics is that highest share of services triggered by the IT, BT and ST industry, especially the IT industry, where Bangalore is a hub and called as the Silicon Valley of India. The model of GTC, the Global Technological Center, has worked wonders for companies to attract companies and establish their firms, opening a branch, and thus creating jobs, adding value, and providing services globally. This system is a very good case study model to be emulated by many other states also who would wish to follow the path of Karnataka's growth, especially in the IT services field. Yeah. So 68% of gross state value addition literally is coming directly from the IT industry, services based industry. Can you imagine? Whereas agriculture had around 12% and industries around some 20%. So this is great. Like in Indian case, in India's situation, we have around 55%, right, coming. So but in Karnataka it is 68%, which is as good as like 70%. So which is a huge share. So services sector's contribution can never be underestimated in India's and Karnataka's growth story. When it comes to the Kalyan Karnataka or Hyderabad Karnataka region, Kalburgi revenue region, which is somehow is in a little slow pace, which consists of districts like Bellary, Bidar, Kalburgi, Koppal, Raichur, Vijayanagara or Bijapur, Yadgiri. These districts have lower per capita income compared to others. Yeah, this is to be noted. Therefore, there is under 371J there was a formation of Kalyan Karnataka board to address the development in that region. Yeah. With respect to fiscal development and state finances, Karnataka had demonstrated strong finance discipline, right? Fiscal discipline, and especially under the Fiscal Responsibility Act. Like in the center, we have the FRBM Act, right? Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act, under which it is stated that the fiscal deficit, especially, should be kept within 3%, right? In line with the same, we have the State Fiscal Responsibility Act 2002, which also mandates to have the fiscal deficit within 3% of gross state domestic product. Yeah. Also, keeping 3% within is a challenge, yet Karnataka has fared very well in doing so. There are various other schemes that the Karnataka government are mentioned here, like Shakti scheme for free travel for women in government buses, Anna Bhagya for providing basic 10 kg of food grains, 5 kg of and 5 kg of government of India and 5 kg from state. It's like a 50% share. Anna Bhagya, Shakti scheme, Gruha Jyoti scheme for exemption from electricity bills for 200 units, Griha Lakshmi scheme, yeah, and Yuva Nidhi scheme for diploma holders. So quote all these schemes wherever possible with respect to government's efforts to address to what are the like even in the union budget we have Nari, Yuvak, and Annadata, right? There was one more. So these are the prime stakeholders where government focuses on in putting its resources and efforts to uplift. Yeah. Then within the investment and export scenario, we have Karnataka emerging as one of the top investment hubs, nothing like it, attracting the highest FDIs into India, and strong infrastructure development that is especially driven by the IT and biotechnology center here. Also, the state pioneered the Industrial Facilitation Act, making Karnataka one of the most investor-friendly region in the country. Yet, since the global dynamics exist, so cyber security policy, so quote this, wherever green highlighted policies of Karnataka, cyber security policy, fiscal responsibility policy we talked, then there are many other that are going to follow. So just remember and list them down at one place and keep quoting wherever possible in the answers. Cyber security policy 24-29, Nipuna Karnataka initiative for skilling and upskilling, especially in the region of AI, blockchain, cyber security, cloud computing, data science, big data analytics, right, edge computing, the new emerging new age skills, where Karnataka has taken an initiative called Nipuna Karnataka initiative. Keep quoting that wherever IT and related cyber security things come, Nipuna Karnataka also you can quote. Karnataka has launched multiple startup funds. Okay, all that is being talked here. Very important how entrepreneurship and enterprise has been given the forefront in India in Karnataka's growth story is a study to understand, is a case study to understand and emulate, especially in IT, biotech, healthcare, clean energy and agriculture. Now this aims to generate 25,000 direct startups jobs. So that is the aim that the Karnataka government is vouching for. Also electronic system design manufacturing industry also. Yeah, electronics and IT, they are all related. Especially this is important also, Bangalore Life Science Park, a biotech hub, right, which is running on a PPP model, public private partnership, to enhance skill development with so many employees, right? Game changer for Karnataka biotech story, especially in the field of biotech. We have the famous Biocon company here by Kiran Majumdar, right? And so Bangalore has been a hub of biotech hub, and therefore Bangalore Life Science Park has been established to further the progress. Also, when it comes to leadership, Karnataka contributes to 20% of India's total export, which is like really commendable. 20% to India's exports, right? We discussed that around 8.9% is the GDP contribution to India, and 20% is the India's exports contribution, right? And software and services export is clearly the 40% share, direct holder of the 40% share. Within Karnataka, we have around 68%, but when it comes to India share, it is 40%, which is like commendable. Also, exports empowering economic growth, as we said, 40% of Karnataka GDP, right? When it comes to rural development and Panchayati Raj institution, we have the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act and 74th, right? This is for the rural, right, Panchayati Raj institutions, and this is for the urban local bodies, municipalities, etc. So Karnataka is setting benchmark for sustainable inclusive rural development by strengthening these Panchayati Raj institutions, right? And as we discussed in the initial time only, that Karnataka has topped the overall devolution index in empowering the Panchayati Raj institutions for decentralized governance. Yeah. Also, various other initiatives are like Arivu Kendra, as called rural libraries, Kusina Mane, rural creche, Aranganwadis for children to care of the health of children in the initial postnatal phase, and the care and then the health of the mothers. Also, the solid waste management, Karnataka being the hub, and especially not just on the urban front, but even on self-help group based rural background, solid waste management has been in the forefront of the government's efforts that is being undertaken. And Jal Jeevan Mission, that drinking water facility for every household, like functional household tap connections to every house, is taken under Jal Jeevan Mission. Swachh Bharat Mission, again the ODF, open defecation free efforts, and Karnataka has been doing good in that direction, right? For construction of roads to every village, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana we have. Kalyana Path is a part of the same. Rajiv Gandhi Panchayati Raj Fellowships program is there in furthering Kalyan Karnataka regions development, Hyderabad Karnataka regions development, HK, like that. Various other digital initiatives within governance, land records and others, and they have been eased to the level of payments being done through phone pay, Google Pay, Paytm, and using point of sale machines to accept the payments for easy delivery of services. When it comes to urban development, Karnataka has been a vibrant and inclusive urban development local bodies that are there running. BBMP is there in the Bangalore and Dharwad and Hubli, Kalburgi, various other places. Robust urban local bodies are existing. When it comes to Bangalore situation, Kaveri water supply scheme is there. Sewage treatment plants are established, which is again regulated by the Karnataka State Pollution Control Board, right? Bengaluru suburban rail projects that are happening, metro stretch from Sarjapur to Hebbal under Bangalore Metro is happening, right? And even in Dodballapur side, there are talks of having, right, Kionics Karnataka Industrial and Development Board, right, KIDB we call. So there are plans to establish special economic zones in Dodballapur side. Yeah. Agriculture and food management, when it comes, see, this highlighted sentence can be directly picked and can be answered, right? Karnataka has made significant progress in agriculture by boosting productivity. See, the answer should be like this. We should talk on key terms. Productivity, what we should do, we should boost. Water availability, what we should do, improve. Technology, what we should do, integrate. What we should do to farmers, support, right? So like this, better access to resources, knowledge, finance, assistance to by what? By finance. Promoting what we should promote, sustainable growth in agriculture. Innovative policies, targeted supports have strengthened the farming sector and rural livelihood. These efforts demonstrate Karnataka's commitment to safeguarding farmers' interest and driving long-term agricultural prosperity. See, such a nice word. This can directly become a part of the answer. Karnataka's agriculture progress that is being indicated. Of course, there are challenges and yet there are efforts done. Farm mechanization is one to increase productivity. Micro irrigation schemes are there. National Food Security Scheme already exists. Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, again central sector scheme. Krishi Bhagya scheme, right? This is there. Then Raita Suraksha and Fasal Bima Yojana, right, in line with the PM Fasal Bima Yojana, providing compensatory benefit to farmers who have suffered productivity losses due to unprecedented events like extreme weather conditions, flood and droughts. Watershed development to recharge under the ground aquifers. Yeah, World Bank funded creating nalas, schools and ponds. World Bank funded and NABARD intervened. Various efforts are also done. Water harvesting structures are put in place, right? We talked. And for post production, to reduce the post production losses, cold storage facilities. In case of distress selling, APMC markets, the agriculture produce marketing places have been put in place and are supported. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana for again micro irrigation, drip irrigation. Animal husbandry, if you get into animal husbandry and livestock, within the agricultural sector we have Karnataka state producing the 8th highest amount of milk in India and contributing to around 5 and 6 around 7% in terms of livelihood and poultry. Those things are captured here. And when you gets to milk, so Karnataka has a very famous institution called Karnataka Milk Federation, right, which is doing some great work in dairy production, especially if you hear the Nandini brand, right, everywhere. It is all the KMF's child. So like that. So you can quickly get, it's a very high level overview. We will go faster in the next chapters. National food security is there. Anna Bhagya scheme, say the direct benefit transfer we have na. Antyodaya Anna Yojana. When it comes to natural resources and management environment, we discussed also 25% of the state is covered by forest, especially with major chunk is covered from Western Ghats, right? All that. National parks and wildlife sanctuary we talked. Karnataka Forest Act exists. Devarakadu scheme, right? In every district they want to establish called a Daivavana code, right? Sacred groves to be created. That thing is there. Devarakadu scheme. Karnataka ranks the second in India in tiger population, 563. This happened 2022, right? The estimation of tigers. First was which state? I think MP, Madhya Pradesh, right? Hisarghatta farmland is there in Bangalore. Yettinahole integrated drinking water project is existing. Transforming Bildan Park in Krishnarayana Sagar Dam, right? The Kyar Dam, right? It has been considered for tourism destination also and developing with private public partnerships. So various other efforts are there like this. We can quickly dive in. When it comes to industry, we have talked that ITBT and ST, especially around the information communication technology, right? KIDB has been doing some great work. Special economic zones are being formed, right? Tourism has been in the forefront, right? We have Bidar, Bijapur, Mysore, Bangalore, and even coastal regions like Kodagu or even Chikmagalur. All these areas, ecotourism has been considered in many of these places. Especially in North Karnataka, we have the Januka and Lama Tourism Development Board that is working towards it. Even I think last to last year's budget, there were talks about Bidar's Kalyan Karnataka Basakolyan is a place where Lord Basavanna was there. There was plans of creating Anubhav Mantapa and developing a tourist circuit there. That was also taken care. Then skill entrepreneurship and employment, right? Various efforts have been put in that direction. Yuvanidhi scheme, Tata Udyog project, Kalike Jyoti Kaushalya for graduates in BA, BCom, BBA to get skilled in various trainings provided and take up income generating activities, thus adding value to the economy. Akka Cafe outlets were recently opened in Devanhalli, we know, and in Belgavi also. Karnataka Skill Development Council exists, right? In line with the National Skill Development Council in Government of India. Like that, various other efforts are also done. And Karnataka has secured second rank in India for decent work and economic growth. Like we have the Niti Aayog SDG index, right? So India has been doing wonderful. It is always in the top 5. There is Graha Jyoti scheme also, right? And there is Karnataka Renewable Energy Policy. This policy is also important. That Karnataka Renewable Energy Policy, cyber security policy, renewable energy policy, and many others. Yeah. So I'll quickly get in now. As far as education is concerned, see, significant share is there. 88% is catered by lower primary schools directly by the government of Karnataka, whereas only 27% of high school is under government's control. Others is in private sector's control. Yeah, that is to be noted. Various other efforts are done for the marginalized section, backward classes, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, welfare are in focus. Karnataka Maharshi Valmiki scheduled tribe, because even those who are like Kabbaligas, they are called the Valmiki Jananga, that is also considered under STs and are given reservation and other facilities. Under that, there is tribal subplan also. Welfare of the backward classes under Dr. Devaraj RS. Backward classes development corporations is taken care. Sadhana scheme, Gramin Punarvasati Yojana for rehabilitation of various differently abled individuals, persons with disabilities is also taken care. Devadasis rehabilitation efforts are done. Pensions for children of the Devadasis is been planned. Education is planned. Then so various others for the senior citizens, ID cards are given. Karnataka, and there is one important point here, that India has Karnataka has been topping between 10th and among the top 10 states with respect to Human Development Index. India's rank is around 134 out of 193 countries, and Karnataka has been doing well in that domain. Karnataka's SDI index, important, you can quote in answers also. Karnataka has been the top 10 in the index of human development. There is Kutumba project also for e-governance, okay, which has won an award also for covering all the records, family line records used for ration card. Yeah, Mahiti Kanaja web portal is there, which has been made within the RTI Act, Right to Information Act, to help public get right information for public delivery under the public delivery system. Area based development is there. Malnad Area Development Board is there. Karavali Development Board is there. Hyderabad Karnataka region enjoys a special status under Article 371J. We called reservation facilities are there. Even in this KS mains exam, we see that there is Hyderabad Karnataka cadre and RPC cadre, right? Separate reservations are there. Candidates belonging to Hyderabad Karnataka region, right? So this is it. And United Nations, and one more important topic also which is covered in chapter 13 is that Karnataka has done great efforts and has come out in the top at least 5, especially with respect to Niti Aayog's SDG index. Like we have the SDG index, right? The Sustainable Development Goals taken by the UN in 2015. Earlier there were millennial development goals which whose all goals were not met, and thus there was a revision that was undertaken. Yeah, and it had around 17 goals and 160 plus targets. So in line with that, the Niti Aayog had come up with a SDG index for all the states for all these goals, and Karnataka has been doing wonderful in that domain. It is being indicated here. We can quote this also in various places of how Karnataka has been performing. Now we will go a little faster because the document is quite huge. It's around 700 pages. So quickly we will pass through. Okay, state income, rent, prices, and inflation. If you see, there are very detailed things. We don't want to get in there very deeper. At the same time, you can see sustainably we are growing in primary sector, secondary sector, more or less, and in service sector. 68% share is from the service sector, around 20% is from secondary sector, and around 15% or 10 to 15% is from primary sector. Important stat to know. Then comparison of per capita income, as we discussed, 3,80,000 is the per capita income of Karnataka compared to India's 2 lakh. So which is one of the top states performers in Karnataka, in India. So all that. Also the district wise per capita income, you can see how there is some regional imbalance that is being observed. Only districts like urban Bangalore, Dakshin Kannada, Udupi, Chikmagalur, Bangalore rural, they are like top performers, whereas when it comes to other regions like we have Yadgiri, Kalburgi, Bidar, Bijapur, right? So these places, right, which are Hyderabad, Karnataka region areas, are underperformers or low performers. Inflation as is an increase. Of course, there is some talk about the inflation, how the wholesale price index, the consumer price index, how are they seen with respect to India's case story. That is there given. We don't have to get into these stats because they are not very important for us. In the second chapter, there is some talk about fiscal development, state finances. We also discuss this fiscal responsibility act, everything very on a high level. So we'll quickly skip that part. Okay. A lot is being talked. We don't want to dwell into that more. With respect to investment and exports, we have Karnataka doing very well. We discussed. Can you tell me how much percentage of exports share does Karnataka has in India's GDP? That is there. And as far as investment is considered, Karnataka attracts the highest investment. But yet there are various Karnataka innovation and technology societies being formed in this domain, which helps in ease of doing business, right? Single window clearance systems and various other measures that are taken to create world class and ready to use infrastructure. Sector wise zones, like various industry wise zones are being created, SEZs, and creating an investor friendly responsive administration. So all that is undertaken. Karnataka data center policy we discussed, Karnataka IT policy we discussed. See, these policies you should quote, they're very important. Also, that Karnataka is coming with within the data center policy, it wants to establish 200 megawatt capacity of data center industry in Karnataka, which is important. This will attract around 10,000 crores of investment. Very, very important. You can quote wherever you are quoting Karnataka data center and IT related stuff. Nipuna initiative also we talked that you can quote for skilling and sub data center and IT policy also. Now there is a push to establish the IT into tier 2 cities also, like Hubli, Dharwad, like that. We discussed that global capability centers are also called as global technology centers. There is a push to attract many more companies to drive the growth. This we discussed. This is a new Karnataka global capability centers policy. See, this is very important. You can quote this also, right? Which is envisaged to attract around 500 new global capability centers, which can contribute to around 50 billion to Karnataka's economy by 2029. So this is a very powerful way of attracting foreign companies to Karnataka. We talked this Center for Excellences for supporting state of startup ecosystem, providing fund support, credit support, knowledge support, all that. Especially embracing technologies, developments and innovation in AI, ML, IoT, cybersecurity and blockchain, edge computing, etc. So those things are there, right? IAS is also there, where research activities have been envisaged in partnership. Karnataka startup policy is also there in place, especially in these sectors. See, all these policies you can list them down and you can code on in the answers. Yeah, so like that, that has been done. I'll go very fast. So like this. And in Karnataka ranks first in software export, we discussed, and fourth in merchandise export. Towards the end of every chapter, you will have where forward writing like this. You can pick up some sentences directly from there. Governance process reengineering of business centric approvals will be focused by analyzing the existing processes and bringing out reforms such as reduction of time, cost, documents, procedures involved in the service delivery processes. This is with respect to ease of doing business. Yeah. Then there is also there are other things that are there: development, state of the art single window clearing systems. Yeah. Rural development in the fourth chapter talks about like 60% of the Karnataka's population lives here, and the increasing the and improving the quality of life and economic well-being is at the core of the establishment of panchayat raj institutions. Yeah, all that is being discussed here very vividly. You can see in detail. Pull out some points from there. Okay, and towards the last we will have some answers, if you can pick up. Anyway, urban development, this is being talked in this chapter. Quickly go through. There are some highlights that are there, that Bangalore has been potential to become a e-waste hub because of the IT capital of India, because of being IT capital of India, and managing this is an great economic opportunity also to work. Karnataka State Pollution Control Board has established around 200 e-waste collections places, yet a lot of effort has to be done in that direction. That is being talked. Agriculture and food management is also talked. Various other insurance, soil health card, micro irrigation, crop insurance, farm mechanization, crop survey, supply of quality seeds before the sowing period, Krishi Bhagya scheme. So various other efforts are there that we discussed, right? Various places are famous, like Kalburgi is famous for tool, so there is a lot of work is being done in that to enhance productivity there. Yeah. And the PDS system is there to distribute. Yeah, this is being talked. And also there is talk on natural resource management and environment that we talked. Okay, there is no much. So like this you can quickly cover all these topics. There is nothing more. We have already covered everything in the executive summary. Towards the end, in the SDG development goals, we were talking that we already discussed this, that 17 SDGs and 169 targets, and Karnataka has been performing very well in these parameters. So these are the 17 sustainable development goals that we call, and they can be clubbed into 4 major themes: human development, social development, environmental sustainability, sustainable livelihood. Better to remember and code the sustainable development goals also. We can remember like FEG, health, hunger, poverty, health, and third is hunger, FEG, WEDS, FEG, WEDS. Like that you can remember some code words and remember all of them whenever possible. You can code them according to this SDG Karnataka has done. But all in all, they can be clubbed into these 4, and Karnataka's performance has been listed by the Niti Aayog's index, and Karnataka has been in the top 5 to 10. That is the range. Like rank is around 5. Karnataka's rank is 5th in the SDG index. This you can clearly quote, right? That's how. And on every single parameter there is a very detailed analysis, which is not that important for us. So this is how we have picked up all the important you know information from the economic survey of Karnataka, useful for your upcoming KS mains. Thank you. And you can see this materials, everything, in Telegram channel of Pragyān Veda.